need in order to be supported in life. It's not going to help you to jump the train if you don't believe that there is something soft to land on. So until such time as you prove to yourself that your excitement is capable of supporting you somehow, it would be wise to hold on to the things that you now believe you do need for support. But the rate at which that changes is up to you. The more you are willing to act on your excitement in all the ways that you can and be passionate about your passion, doing everything you can, every opportunity that you can act on or invent to act on your excitement to the best of your ability with zero insistence on a particular outcome, zero, then you will begin to see the synchronicities piling up. More opportunities will come to give you more opportunity to act on your highest excitement and allow your excitement to prove to you that it can support you in life. And then bit by bit, you will feel comfortable letting go of the things that you're doing now that are not representative of your excitement. And whatever that pace is, whatever that transition time is completely up to the rate at which you're willing to believe that your excitement can support you fully in life. But that pace is up to you. Is this making sense?
Absolutely.
This is just physics, you know. That's all it is. Nothing mysterious about it. It's what you put out is what you get back.
Mm-hmm. Well, so
yes?
another thing that I do is...
Speak up, speak up.
Another thing that I do, I'm a vocalist. I sing.
Well, then speak up.
So,
yes, so that's another expression of your excitement.
Yes, it is.
All right, well, what are you doing to take action in that direction already? Anything at all? What are you doing?
I sing at different churches.
All right, and this is fun and exciting for you?
I love it.
All right, and again, now, do you have a belief that the things that excite you are not capable of supporting you?
I have a belief that, one is that I'm not good enough.
Not good enough.
So I say that, and then somewhere in the back of my mind says, well, that's not true. So
which one are you going to listen to?
Well,
what's coming out of your mouth or what's going on in the back of your mind?
I must be listening to the one that's coming out of my mouth because of where I am with it.
And therefore, why give that more credence than the other voice? Why? Your mouth isn't necessarily smarter than the back of your head.
Well, listening to your conversation about the negative energy,
yes,
that appears to be the most powerful energy that I listen to.
Because you believe that it is. But it's not really. It's
yes.
just attempting to convince you that it is. It doesn't actually have any more power.
Right.
It's tricking you into thinking that it does. But why pay attention to that if that's not what you prefer? What makes it seem like the negative actually has more power than the positive?
Well,
yes.
Sometimes I'll look to the past that does not exist.
Well, then, if you know it doesn't exist, what are you looking at? Nothing.
I know.
All right. But again, you can start to broaden your definitions about what support means. Remember that when we talk about the idea of support and abundance, there are many forms of abundance. Abundance is, as we have often said, just the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. That's it. Who cares how that gets accomplished? Sometimes it might be money, which exists on your planet. Sometimes it might be that you're being given a gift. Sometimes it might come in the form of synchronicity. Who cares what door it walks through as long as you are supported? Don't insist on any particular method of support, and then all the methods of support can come in when they are needed. And the ones that aren't there aren't the ones that will work. They're not the path of least resistance. You have to train yourself to know that your life already works, and that whatever form of abundance comes is the form that is representative of the path of least resistance and the support that you need at that moment. And stop insisting that it has to come another way. How about that idea?
I like that. And I'm getting better at work.
Yes.
Releasing the stuff that doesn't serve me.
All right, and another suggestion also, if you're going to hold on to doing the thing that you say is not really as representative of your excitement as these other things, at the very least, if you're going to hold on to it for a while, do it in the most exciting way you can do it.
That's what I was going to say. Like that, I'm enjoying the part that I'm enjoying it.
All right. But again, up to you as to how long you hold on to the parts that are not representative of your joy.
Right. And did I hear you say
Yes.
that? Okay. So
Did you hear me say what?
Well, did I hear you say that you didn't say this exactly, but that I heard that I need to wait until the time.
You don't need to wait. It would be wise
Okay. That it would
to
be,
not jump
Right.
if you don't believe that you are supported in the jump, because then you will only be out there feeling like you have no support at all.
I see.
So, but it's up to you as to when you believe that acting on your excitement will support you instead of the support you're getting from the thing that you don't prefer to do. The universe doesn't care which one you choose, you know.
Yes.
It's up to you to decide what is capable of supporting you. And if you know that there's really no reason at all to assume that your excitement can't support you, then you will make the shift. If the thing that you don't prefer is capable of supporting you, why wouldn't the thing you do prefer be capable of supporting you? Where's the logic here?
Well, there isn't any.
Thank you. Well, when you really start to realize how illogical this is, you will start to feel more confident about the idea that your excitement can support you, because that's what it's designed to do. That's literally what it's designed to do. Because any definition of excitement that contains anything but the ability to be supported, guided effortlessly through life, driven forward in the way that you need to be, any other definition than that isn't a definition of excitement. It's something else. It's not possible for a true definition of excitement to contain an inability to be supported in your excitement. That just means you're choosing something other than excitement when you have that kind of an experience, that you're suddenly not supported. It doesn't mean your excitement isn't supporting you. It means that you stepped out of your excitement.
Mm-hmm.
That's your first clue.
So because what it feels like is in the way is the fear of not being able to support myself.
I know that's what it feels like, but
Yes.
remember, feelings don't exist in a vacuum. They come from what you believe to be true.
Right.
So if you feel like your excitement can't support you, that means you're holding on to a belief and a definition of excitement that isn't a definition of excitement, that says if I act on my excitement, I may not be supported. But if you understand the definition of excitement in its pure form, you will understand that that statement cannot be a definition of excitement. It's a definition that's different.
I see.
So you haven't yet actually created a true definition of excitement for yourself. You haven't yet truly allowed yourself to understand what a pure definition of excitement actually is. You're still toying around with other definitions that may in some way seem or appear to be sort of kind of like a definition of excitement, but they're not. They're something else altogether and will give you a different reality experience altogether. If you have a definition that says, well, I would like to act on my excitement, but I'm not really sure it can support me, what kind of a reality reflection do you think you're actually going to see in the things that pop up in your life? You're going to get opportunities that are going to look like your excitement that are not going to be able to support you because you don't believe that your excitement can. So you're getting exactly what you asked for.
Yes.
Something that looks like excitement that can't support you. That's a reflection of what you're putting out. It's that simple. You just have to be clear based on the reflection what you're putting out and make course corrections and adjustments to actually allow yourself to go into a true definition of excitement so that you can get a true reflection of excitement. Not that you need to. That's the paradox. Remember that the idea, the measure of true change within yourself is not whether the outside reflection changes, it's whether you respond differently to the outside, even if it still looks the same. That's how you prove you've changed, because you're not making your state of being conditional on what's happening around you. You're just making a statement that this is the state of being I prefer, and it doesn't matter what's going on around me, because those things can't affect me in any way I don't choose to be affected. So it doesn't matter what's happening. They're just circumstances. They're just neutral. They're just props. I choose what state of being I prefer, regardless of what's going on around me. And when you do that, then paradoxically, what's going on around you has more opportunity to change, to reflect the true change you've made. Not that it has to, not that you need it to, it just will, because now you have proven you've truly changed, because you don't care whether the outside changes or not. You're going to be happy anyway.
Yes.
And that's when you're truly happy, and that's when the outside can actually reflect the happiness back to you. Is all this making sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Is this helping?
Yes, it is.
Are you willing to sing a new song?
Absolutely.
All right. Then thank you.
I have one more question.
Do you?
Yes.
How abundant in questions you are.
And it's about age.
Age?
Yes.
Do you mean
Getting
like
old.
the Cretaceous period? That kind of an age? Or a millennium? That kind of an age?
No,
or
like
do you mean your own personal
yearly,
age?
My own personal yearly age.
Yes, I know. Just having a little fun to lighten you up about that concept. What about your age? How old are you?
I'm 71 years young.
Yes. So if you know that you are young, why are we talking about your age?
Well, because that's a word that comes out, but I do feel older. And
Well, you feel more mature.
yes, and the body doesn't do what it wants to do all the time.
So what? You will find ways to act on your excitement in ways that now fit what you are capable of doing, and paradoxically, when you do that, you may find your body is capable of doing more. When you let what is be what needs to be, and be okay for what it is now, and act on it to the best of your ability as it is, you create more opportunity for what is to become something different. And adapt to your energy that you're putting out. So move forward to the best of your ability. That's all you need to do. And you may surprise yourself at what you'll be capable of doing when you're not holding yourself back from being who you truly are. Mm-hmm. Remember that the concept, in many ways, of the so-called negative side of aging on your planet is because you're actually not moving forward in your true energy. You're stagnating, you're holding back, you're not letting your full energy support your body. You're cutting yourself off from that energy source by not acting on your full passion, and therefore the body can, when cut off from that energy, start to wither and die. But when you fill yourself full of life, it's quite possible that you may actually even see a reversal of age, because you'll fill yourself up and plump yourself out. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Does this help?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Hello.
Andrew, you good day.
Hi, I have questions about parallel realities.
Yes.
I try to understand better, so maybe I'll make some statements and then you can
All right.
elaborate. So like in quantum mechanics, they say that all possibilities are there, and the moment that the possibility is observed,
Yes.
the waves will collapse.
Yes.
Right? So my question is if all possibilities are there at the same time, but and you say like all worlds are there, but if they are not observed, are they like as real as what we experience
They are
here?
because they're observed by someone else, not you. Maybe other versions of you are observing them and experiencing those parallel realities where you are only experiencing what you chose to observe with your frequency.
So there are literally like billions of
An infinite
parallel
number, yes.
realities that are collapsing like this one
Constantly.
constantly.
Yes,
Okay.
moment to moment. You are shifting through billions of parallel realities every second to create the illusion of time and space and change. Otherwise, each parallel reality would just be a frozen snapshot with no experience and no movement in it. You have to shift your consciousness through those in the same way a projector light shifts through different frames on a film strip to create the illusion of movement and change in a movie.
But then what is the meaning if it's already all happened?
The meaning is what you put into it in terms of the new experience you have because you're looking at it from a new perspective. The structure of existence never changes. Your perspective of it does. And when you change your perspective of it, there's new meaning in the relationship that you have to the structure that doesn't change.
But it's already been perceived, all of it.
But not by you. Do you understand? Not by you on this level. It's being perceived, all of it. All of it is being perceived by all that is, all at once, but all that is doesn't need to change. It can't. It is what it is. The only way it can experience the idea of changing is by creating what appear to be fragments of itself that don't experience all of it all at once, and those fragments are called you, and you, and me, and you. So that all that is gets to experience the idea of itself from a perspective where it doesn't experience all of itself. Does that make sense?
Yes, but when it's already happened, because there is no time and space, this already happened.
It exists right now. It's not that it happened. That's a temporal statement. It just exists. Time is one of its creations. So it can play with time, you can play with time, and make it flexible and malleable in many different kinds of ways. But the way you're playing with it right now, here, in this experience, is that you're creating the side effect called time and space and change in order to pretend that it doesn't exist all at once so that you can rediscover it from a new perspective, and that's how you grow in your relationship to all that is.
Okay. And how does that relate to like evolution? If all realities are
Again, it's
possible?
the same idea. Evolution is just the path you're choosing through the parallel realities that exhibit a particular kind of change that you call an evolutionary one, because you are creating a sense of continuity in that path that makes it look like you're going from this to this along a particular process line. You could really skip all over the place if you wanted to, but you don't, because you're playing the physical reality continuity game, and you want to experience the idea of evolutionary process, because that's one of the ways you will discover new perspectives of who and what you are. That's just the name of the game here.
Okay.
Not everyone experiences it that way in every reality.
Okay. And like some people like say that, you know, like how I perceive it now, there is pain, there is war, there is this,
Yes.
that there is like another reality where people don't like perceive. Okay, I can understand that you can shift your vibration and your frequency, and
Yes.
so your perception to
Yes.
why there is pain, but is there really also a parallel reality where the war doesn't like
Of
exist?
course. If you can imagine it, somewhere it's real, because you can't imagine non-existence. So there are an infinite number of versions of Earth, just to keep it earthbound in this conversation, And there are an infinite number of experiences on those different Earths. There are Earths that are absolute paradise. There are Earths that are absolute hell. There are Earths that have already destroyed themselves utterly. The idea is that you're shifting yourself through a number of those parallel versions of Earth that are representative of the path that you are choosing to take. You never change the world you're on. You just shift yourself to another version of Earth that is now closer in reflection to the change in vibration you've made within yourself. So you're going through all those parallel versions, and if you are of a certain state that is representative of the idea of your world being a peaceful one, then you are heading through a variety of versions of Earth to the ones that are only expressing the reflection of peace. If you stay on that track, if you stay in that state of being, that's where you'll wind up. But you're not changing the planet you were on. You're leaving that version and shifting to another one that's already existing, that's more reflective of the change in your vibration. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yes. And then eventually, like, will everything go back to like perfection of God, or?
That's one way to look at it, but again, remember, everything already exists. So you may experience it that way as going back to the perfection of all that is, but that's still not the end, because there is no end. There is still other things you can imagine from that state of being that can still be explored from other perspectives of all that is, that you can't imagine here because you're not seeing from that level yet.
Mm-hmm. But that is evolution, because you can see onto us like
yes.
in a lower state of
It's a type of evolution, yes.
Okay.
It's one way that evolution can express itself. Yes. Does that help?
Yeah. I have to re-listen, but yes.
Oh, all right, if you insist.
Okay. I have one more small little question.
Small, little, tiny question. All right.
Maybe a big answer, but when something doesn't, can it be that something is fearful to you, and so you don't, and you want it, but you don't feel the excitement because the fear is too big?
Yes, well, what about it?
Yeah, I just wondered.
Many times people can dampen their excitement with fear-based beliefs and not recognize their excitement, yes. And also, the reverse can happen. Something may actually not truly be representative of your excitement, but someone can believe that it is when in fact it's not, because they may be in denial about what actually would be more exciting and they're afraid to do it. So they will pretend that something else is actually their excitement when it really has nothing at all to do with their excitement. So it can go in both directions.
Okay, great.
Does that help?
That helps. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day. Making sure you're all awake.
I have two questions.
Yes.
The first one is breakaway civilizations, secret space program.
Yes. We're not going to go too much into what you call your conspiracy theories. There is some truth to some of them, but we're not going to sit here and validate all the negativity, because it's only going to lock people into that vibration, which is not what we're here to do. Those things will not affect you in a negative way if you don't choose to be affected by them negatively. Does that make sense?
Yes, I do perceive it as negative.
Well, again, the idea is that you can recognize that there may be people on your planet that have negative fear-based agendas, but again, it doesn't have to affect you if you remain in a positive state. You will shift to a reality eventually where that's no longer the case, where it never was the case.
Right, right.
So yes, there are people who have a belief in lack and have a belief in control and believe they're out of control and believe they have to manipulate reality and force other people to do this and be clandestine and all of that. But all of these things are just an expression of them believing in their lack of control. They have one real and only one real tactic. And that is manipulating information to the degree where they allow others to believe they're more powerful than they are. So if people buy into the idea that they have more influence than they do, that they're more powerful than they actually are, then suddenly they're perceived and experienced to be more powerful than they are. But that's what they actually do. They manipulate information to make themselves seem more in control and more powerful than they actually are. But they're not really in control of anything at all. In fact, they're panicked that they're not in control, which is why they cover a lot of stuff up.
Right. The reason why I asked is
Yes.
there are some people who claim to have been to the moon and Mars who were part of that.
Well, I understand, and while there is a small amount of truth in a different direction in some of that, the biggest picture that has been painted of that is not actually accurate.
Right, I appreciate that.
All right.
Yeah. The other question is, I've had arthritis since I was in my teens.
How exciting.
Oh, it was really exciting, I can assure you. And I've tried quite a few
All right,
things.
now stop.
Right.
Understand, all of you, we do not really do health readings anymore. It's not our job anymore. We've delivered all the health information that it's our job to deliver. And we always remind you that even though you may get help to continue this from some other source, the first step in any disease is the idea of detoxification, because 80 to 90% of all disease symptomologies on your planet actually come from the fact that you're highly toxic. When you detoxify yourself, then whatever symptomology is left is actually what you're dealing with. And you may take a different course from there. But the first step we always encourage is to thoroughly detoxify yourself and see if anything is left for you to deal with first. That's the easiest, most simple step that can actually alleviate most of any difficulty. But that's really all the health information we can deliver at this time. You will be assisted from other sources.
Right, I was really also thinking of how to shift my paradigm.
Are you acting on your highest excitement every possible moment that you can with absolutely zero insistence on a particular outcome? Yes or no? Hesitation means
yes.
no.
I was going to say most of the time.
That means no.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you're doing it most of the time. Obviously, there are times when you're not, and those are the things you need to focus on. The times where you're doing it, that's fine. But remember, we gave you an analogy some time ago that in your past, technologically speaking, when you first created things like motor car engines, they were very basic, they were very simplistic. They could be dirty, they could be filthy, they could be covered with mud, and they would still chug along, and chug along. But now in your high technology age, you have machines with very, very precise tolerances, and the smallest speck of dirt that doesn't belong there can freeze the entire engine. It has to be really clean the more accelerated you are. So even though you may be acting on your excitement most of the time, if there is even a time when you're not in an important area of your life, that's going to stop the entire operation until you do. Then the machine will start again. So it's fine that there may be many areas where you're following your excitement. That's wonderful. Bravo. But look at the areas where you're not, because that's where you need to be focused if you want the entire machine to operate holistically. Yes?
Yes, I
Does
see
this
that.
help you?
Yes, it does.
Remember that the idea of arthritis symbolizes inflexibility and stiffness. You need to be more flexible, be less stiff. You need to really examine all of those fine little grains and let go and blow them out and let go of the things that are truly no longer relevant for you. You will all at some point perhaps cross a threshold. Again, remember, it doesn't mean that you will be divesting yourself of negative beliefs for the rest of your life. You might, but you don't have to. The process of divesting yourself of things doesn't always have to remain in the realm of negative beliefs. At a certain point, when you've let go of every negative belief, you will still continue to divest yourself of things that are simply no longer relevant for your life, for who you are. They don't have to be negative, they just simply might not be relevant anymore. So this cleaning out process will continue for the lifetime, even if you've already divested yourself of all the negative beliefs. Yes? Because you're constantly refining in yourself. Make sense?
Yes, it does. Thanks.
Does this help you?
Yes, it does.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
A few questions that all revolve around the symbol of the pyramid, the triangle with the eye at the top.
Yes.
I started communing with a plant teacher years ago, and I was flooded with that vision.
Yes.
And over the years, it's continued, but more recently, it has turned into a pyramid with an eye with wings now.
Oh, all
and a few months ago, I had a dream where I had this Brazilian man on a table, and I placed my hand over a lump that he had on his knee, and I saw myself connecting to this triangle with an eye out in space. And I'm trusting that you can help me understand this.
Well, you're awakening to some connections you have to other levels and dimensions of consciousness and other entities that you have formed connections with that may be symbolized by those that are very ancient. But you have connections to them energetically and can draw upon that to express those energies and apply those energies in your life in beneficial ways.
Such as in the gamma state, how can I focus on those energies while I'm in the doing the channeling state in the gamma?
Well, again, when you're in the channeling state, you are in gamma, and whatever symbols need to appear and whatever connections need to come up will automatically do so, because in that gamma state, in the channeling state, these things happen synchronistically and automatically. You don't have to plan to grab this and grab that. What needs to come up will come up in exactly the right order at exactly the right timing. It's an automatic, self-guiding, self-perpetuating, self-expanding process.
Perfect.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it
All
does.
right.
And John of God, what is that place?
What is that place?
Yes, the man that lives
It's
in
a
that
place where a particular individual is radiating and connecting to a certain frequency that, if other people decide to match that frequency, can allow themselves to heal themselves in certain ways or find information or answers to things they have been searching for.
And speaking of healing, would you be able to give me a permission slip to improve my eyesight to the point where I no longer need glasses?
Look within.
Thank you very much.
Does that help you?
That absolutely.
I don't mean to be facetious, but really the idea is that sometimes you don't see outside because you need to see more clearly inside first. And it may never be necessary for you to see that clearly outside. Do you understand?
That's
If it is necessary, it will happen. The more you act on your excitement to the best of your ability with no insistence on a particular outcome, you will see everything you need to see. Sometimes there are things you don't need to see. So your vision can become very specific. You can see certain things very clearly, and other things can remain fuzzy and sort of off to the side because they really simply are not relevant for you at this particular moment to focus on.
understood.
Make sense?
Thank you so much, Bashar.
Does that help you?
Absolutely, it does. My unconditional love to you and your people.
And you as well.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
From the morning, I'm getting a strong feeling that you may have a message for me. If you have anything from my higher self or higher mind, can you?
Oh, I'm going to ask you the same question I've been asking, because that's what the higher mind would ask. You do understand that the sensation you call excitement, that's actually your body's translation of a message from the higher mind, saying, do this first, do this now. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I do.
Are you acting on your excitement to the best of your ability with no insistence on a particular outcome every moment that you can?
I'm not.
Why?
I don't know why.
Yes, you do. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid will happen if you do?
I think I just feel maybe lonely or just by myself.
Lonely.
Yeah.
So you're not acting on your highest excitement, which could attract all sorts of people to interact with you in exciting ways because you're lonely?
Yeah, I don't know what the fear is. I'm just thinking maybe
Yes,
that
you
is,
do. You're just not digging deep enough.
Mhm.
You have to make it conscious. You can't be afraid to find out what your fear is.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you're stopping yourself. You're blocking yourself. You're isolating yourself. And that's why you're experiencing loneliness.
Okay.
Because you're afraid of what will happen if you actually become who you really know you are. What do you imagine is the most terrifying thing that might happen if you acted on your excitement to the degree that you would like to?
Yeah, I'm not very clear on that either.
Is there something that you're not doing you would rather be doing? Anything at all?
Yeah, I should be writing. I should be.
Don't say should.
Mhm.
That's a self-judgment. Is there something that you would really prefer to be doing that you're not doing? Writing would be exciting?
Writing, yes.
And what else?
And using my voice, somehow
How?
I feel
What would be one of the most exciting ways you could use your voice?
being a spiritual teacher, making people understand, what their highest excitement is, and
You mean helping people
Helping
to
them.
understand?
yes,
All right, now let's go back to the writing. So you're saying you're not writing in the way that you would like to be?
no.
Why not? If you know that that's one of your expressions of excitement, what excuses or reasons are you giving yourself that make it seem logical to not do what you say would be exciting? Why isn't that exciting enough for you to be doing it?
I'm just looking at, day to day, hour to hour things that, this needs to be done and that small thing needs to be done. And
Then you don't understand how excitement works. You don't understand the kit, the toolkit. The toolkit of excitement, when you start acting on the formula, and again, please understand, this is just a description of a mechanism. It works flawlessly. It's working right now. It's just that you're using the mechanism to produce things you don't prefer instead of using it to produce things that you do prefer. But the mechanism is flawless. It always works. If you act to the best of your ability on anything that contains more excitement than any other option, take it as far as you can until you can take it no further, and do that action with absolutely no insistence on a particular outcome. You activate the complete kit of excitement, and the tools in that kit are, it becomes the thing that supports you in all the ways you need to be supported. It becomes the driving engine that moves you through life in the most accelerated way. It becomes the organizing principle of synchronicity that shows you exactly what you need to do, in what order and when, and what you don't have time to do at the end of any given day didn't need to be done. It is also the path of least resistance that allows you to flow through your life most effortlessly. It is the path that connects to all other expressions of excitement, no matter what form they may come in. It is also the reflective mirror that reveals to you anything within you as a definition that may be out of alignment with your excitement, so you can examine it, make it conscious, let it go, and add that energy to your excitement so you can continue to expand. And it leaves nothing relevant out. It's a complete kit, self-contained, self-guiding, self-perpetuating, self-attracting, bringing you everything you need. So when you say, well, I have to do this and I have to do that and these things are getting in the way of my excitement, you're working your life backwards. Because by acting on your excitement, whatever really needs to be done will get done because the timing will be provided for it. And if it doesn't get done, most likely it didn't need to be done either that day or maybe even ever. You have to trust that the guiding principle will actually show you what you need to do, because many people on your planet are very, very busy doing all sorts of things that they probably don't really need to do. You can be much more efficient and streamlined in your life by allowing the principle of synchronicity to guide you as to what actually needs to be done that's in alignment with who you are, and when it needs to be done that's in alignment with who you are, and with whom it needs to be done that's in alignment with where you are, and where it needs to be done that's in alignment with who you are, and nothing else.
Okay.
Does this help?
Yeah, it does. And I feel...
So when will you start writing?
I'll start tonight, this evening.
All right. Is that exciting?
Yes.
And drop any expectations about what the writing is supposed to get you or what's supposed to happen with it. Do it because that's what excites you, for its own sake. That's it.
Okay.
We share these ideas. We communicate with your civilization and other civilizations because this is who we are. This is what excites us. If you don't pay attention to anything we share with you, we don't care. We would do this anyway because this is what excites us. But we know that because it is what excites us and it's because it is who we are, there are those who will absorb the information and make it their own and use it to accelerate their lives in a positive way. We know that must be so. So we don't have to care who does and doesn't pay attention to the information. We know the people that need to pay attention to it will pay attention to it and use it. We know that the people who don't need to use it won't pay attention to it, and they're not our audience anyway, so who cares?
Okay.
I do this because this is who I am, and that's the only reason to do it, no other reason. Whatever happens, happens, and we trust that whatever happens will be exactly the thing that needs to happen in perfect order, because we know that's how things work. It's as simple as that.
And I feel the procrastination habit is also connected to this because what I'm procrastinating on are the things which don't excite me, but I'm not doing what excites me. And higher mind is showing me that you are not doing these things because I'm not excited
Yes,
about
but you
it.
can use your procrastination in a positive way, because if you are attempting to do something that you say excites you, but you're procrastinating, that's your first clue that your definition of how you're going about it isn't in alignment with who you are. Because if it was, you would be on it. You'd be jumping at it. You'd be doing it. You'd be passionate about being passionate. Any procrastination to do the thing you say you would love to do shows you that you're not going about it in the way that actually works best for you. Discover what that is. Investigate what that would be, and you'll get more excited about it, and you will see that it's an actual easy path. It's just that you're thinking it's more difficult than it is because you're going down a path that isn't yours.
So investigation, the best method is to go into meditation. Is that what
If you want to use
recommend?
meditation, that's fine, but you can think it through too.
Okay.
You just have to discover what your definition of your relationship about how you're going about something is, and find out if you can, with your imagination and communication with the higher mind, create a definition that works better for you than the one that you're using. For example, if you're saying, well, I am excited about writing, but somehow I don't seem to be able to get started, well, what's a reason why I would hold back from doing what excites me? Well, let's see. Maybe I think for some reason I'm going to get lost on the page, or I'm going to have to sit there at the computer for hours and hours typing away. Well, maybe that's not your way of writing. Maybe if you go out somewhere in a park and take a piece of paper and a pencil, maybe the words will flow more naturally for you that way. If there's any procrastination, it just means you're not doing it in the way that's most in alignment with you. Find out what the way is that's most in alignment, and everything will start flowing again.
Gotcha.
Yes?
Okay. Yes.
Does that help?
Yeah, it does.
How exciting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is
That's it.
Okay, thank you.
If nothing else, and you feel procrastination, if you're really a writer, you would write about your procrastination. And then you won't be procrastinating. Simple as that. If you're a writer. Know that you're a writer in everything that you do. Even if you're shopping for groceries, you're doing it as a writer would.
Hello, Tadea.
Nania!
I think we have about 15 minutes left, and so maybe I'll do a couple of Ustream questions,
all right.
and then if you'd like us to call someone else up, that'd be fine. Okay, the first one has to do with the attacks in Paris.
Yes.
The terrorist attacks.
Well, we long ago told you that you are going to see an increase in violence as you get everything out on the table to decide what kind of a world you really wish to have. And we said that because everything is starting to dissolve and fall apart, you're going to probably see an increase in instability. And you're going to see reflections of individuals who are in fear and feel disempowered for a variety of reasons and expressing a kind of insanity on your planet until such time as you start to really balance yourself, look at the real deep causes of these things, and start to communicate with each other in ways that are far more constructive. Now, there may still be those who don't want to listen, and eventually they will be, in a sense, evolved out of your society by the shifts that you make. But nevertheless, this is the time of disassembly before you can reorient yourself and reassemble your path in the direction of a parallel version of Earth that you prefer.
You answered that person's question completely. Thank you.
Well, we're nothing if not efficient.
This person's writing in from China,
Yes.
and they said that they are a university student and they don't like the educational system at all.
Well, there are many different kinds of educational systems that are being created on your planet now, but if they find none to their liking, they can always create a new one.
Right, because they're saying, will there be any change for the education system on our planet?
Yes,
And
as
what
we
should-
already said, there are changes taking place. What they really need to involve is the three-step process that we have outlined, where you create an environment, a safe environment, in which you can teach the idea of consequences of your choices in a way that doesn't have disastrous repercussions, allowing people to truly understand what these consequences are and take responsibility for them before they try them out in the world. Also, interactivity in this way, making it as real simulations as possible so they really feel like it's a real world situation is of paramount importance, because again, if they think they're sort of faking it because it is a simulation, you have to make it as interactive and real as possible so they will understand truly the experience of the consequences of their choices, but again, in a safe environment where it doesn't ripple out into the world. And third, the idea of adapting the lesson to the thing that excites the person instead of attempting to force their excitement into a lesson box that doesn't work for them is of paramount importance. Learn by doing, learn by experience, and allow the person to learn through the way in which they are designed to learn. Now, this is beginning to change in some of the systems on your planet. It is called a developmentally appropriate system, or a developmentally appropriate process, where each child is taught to their strengths and not just homogenized into a class where everyone is taught exactly the same thing in exactly the same way. This is a step in that direction, where you start to tailor what you're teaching to each individual based on their excitement, their way of absorbing information, their way of interacting with the world, their way of processing information, and allowing them to learn by experience rather than simply throwing facts and figures at them, which will usually just bounce off their skulls anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting. Back in the 60s, there was an educational system called Summerhill,
Yeah.
where the children didn't have to attend class at all. And they lived on site, and then they were able to learn whatever they wanted to. And interestingly, they found within a couple of weeks, all the kids that were wanting to stay home started showing up at class.
Yes.
And they started creating models and things like that to work from.
Yes.
And a lot of those kids ended up going to Harvard.
Yes.
So it was
Learning
interesting.
is exciting. People want to learn if they are allowed to learn the way that it's natural for them to learn, in the way that's aligned with their excitement. People are sponges. They will absorb it all. They will find ways to adapt information that may be necessary in your society into a methodology that they can relate to. And then they will learn what they need to learn. They will learn the guidelines. Yes, of course, we understand there are certain things that may be handy for everyone on your planet to know, certain guidelines that are part of living your life in a productive and safe way. But these things can all be learned in a way that is in alignment with excitement. They don't have to be learned in a rote manner, and they can't be learned in a rote manner.
It kind of brings to mind also that when we listen to your information,
Yes.
And even the recordings of your information,
Yes.
there's a holographic effect with it where when you listen to it, you hear something different every time
Yes.
because it seems so specifically designed
Yes.
to interact with the individual who's listening, their consciousness, in
Yes.
a way that's very specific to what they need to learn or what they're
Yes.
excited to learn.
Exactly, because you are different people at every moment, and you will hear different things that we have embedded in the communications at different times.
So is it just a frequency thing like the kids in
Yes.
school? I don't know that they feel that kind of experience when they're being taught something.
That's because they're not being taught holographically.
Okay, so what is the energy that the information's imbued with that allows people to experience that?
It's what we just said. In a holographic presentation where you know that everyone will pick up what they need to pick up, how they need to pick it up, when they need to pick it up, there is the allowance for that to happen in their own way, at their own pace, in their own timing, rather than the insistence that if they don't get it now, they've missed the train. Goodbye, sorry, you fail. It's the delivery of information in a way that contains the information and structures the information in a way that is actually designed specifically to allow everyone to absorb the information they need, and only the information they need, in exactly the way they need to absorb it.
And is that also because the frequency that you're sharing is imbued with the gamma frequencies?
Yes,
So
because we are inducing you to also go into the gamma frequency in order to absorb the information on deeper levels of your consciousness by radiating that frequency and by allowing you to match that frequency if you wish to.
okay, so it's perfect. When you teach from the gamma state,
Yes.
and you share that energy, the individual that's listening then is encouraged to harmonize and reach the gamma state.
Yes.
And then they have a holographic experience with the information they're receiving.
Yes, and this is why it's up to the adults who are teaching to be very, very imaginative and allow themselves to teach from the state of the higher mind, the gamma state, the imagination state. Because if there is a gamma teacher, it's far more probable that there will be a gamma class.
And I don't know if this is the same topic, but I am wondering, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, why is that so effective with human consciousness?
Because it's a physical form of telepathy. The idea, again, remember, is that telepathy is not that you're reading someone else's mind, it's that you're having the same thoughts at the same time because you're on a similar wavelength. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, entrains you to actually match in every way that you possibly can the actual physical and neurological modality of someone else. You're mirroring their actions, their behaviors, every movement, every sigh, their body language, their attitude, their energy. And when you match them perfectly enough, you will actually start having the same thoughts at the same time, and you will experience telepathy. You will know exactly what they're thinking by mirroring them.
And then that simultaneously sort of reprograms your psyche?
It can, yes,
Okay.
depending upon what it is you're mirroring and what your intent is behind mirroring it. This is why the idea of role models can be important. Again, of course, you will always be unique. You'll always do it in your own way. But if you're picking positive role models that are already representative of a typical kind of behavior and reality and lifestyle that you prefer for yourself, well, by mimicking and doing the kinds of things that that person is doing in their life to the best of your ability, you start to take on that energy. You start to mirror that reality, and you will allow whatever version of it is unique to you to manifest in the easiest and most effortless possible way. You can use NLP that way. Does that help?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how our brains are wired to allow us to absorb information.
It
in
is the
specific
receiver.
ways.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the receiver between the higher mind and the physical mind. And it is wired to receive an array of frequencies on fractal scales. And it will interpret and download and transform those frequencies in a way that is relevant for whatever is possible in the belief system to be capable of being held in the personality.
You're really expanding our perception of what we can do to teach in schools, in the educational system, from a completely, really new place, and then help these children to have a much more expansive and amazing
it's not really that
experience
new
learning.
because there are times in your history where other civilizations used to understand this and use it. In particular, some of the ancient Atlantean teachings were more in this direction. But you've forgotten this and now you're remembering, so that's okay.
That's great. Just so much more fun to learn as a kid when you're doing
Yes.
what you love to do.
And one of the most important things for allowing you to learn is to make sure that you are fueled up. So now, please, take your break and nourish yourselves so that you will be more capable of absorbing more information without wearing yourselves out. We will resume this transmission after your nourishment break. Enjoy.
Thank you, Darryl. Good morning.
But it'll say, let us continue this transmission with your questions and dialogues, if you wish.
Greetings, dear brother,
And to you, good day.
and greetings to everybody on the other side of the veil.
Guys.
We are going to be building new sacred sites and pyramid temples.
Guys.
And is there a way to, or a method to find the exact location of the intersection of the ley line, sir?
Well, there are a variety of ways. Some of them can actually be found if your equipment is sensitive enough with electromagnetic sensors. But you can intuit them as well if you place yourself in the proper meditative state and focus on the idea of the energetic lines, the grid on your planet. You can intuit it, and also some people can use permission slips, such as dowsing rods and so forth, to also plot and chart the idea of the electromagnetic grid, or ley lines as you call them, on your planet. There are a variety of ways, and different people will be attracted to different methodologies based on what works with their belief system. You follow?
Yes, brother.
All right. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Anything else?
In the temples we're going to be building, we're going to have like some staging areas. Would some type of platform, such as a landing pad or a rod for the ships to anchor to, which would be more
A platform,
okay?
at least 100 feet in diameter, would be of assistance, with a gateway or an entry point. Doesn't have to be connected to any other, but a symbolic door, in a sense, at each of the 4 cardinal points, north, east, south, west, would be most efficacious as a representation, as a symbol, as a permission slip to connect the collective consciousness of your planet, the energy of your world, with the concept of contact in that way.
Thank you, brother.
Painting each of the doorways red, white, black, yellow, in the directions as indicated by many of the indigenous societies in your North American continent, to associate those colors with the proper directions. All right?
Thank you, brother.
Will that do?
Yes.
Well, thank you very much.
I have a few more questions.
Oh, I thought you said that would do.
Oh, for that one.
Yes, all right.
The Pyramid of Giza, other than using the sarcophagus permission slip, was it ever used as a power plant?
It generates a kind of focus like a lens electromagnetically, but not so much as a power plant as you understand them today in your technology. More the idea of the amplification of the energy to create the proper resonant state for the purpose of using the sarcophagus to get into the gamma state and have it amplified so that it can help facilitate out-of-body travel. More that than anything.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Could you give a description of the Yael civilization, and is there any messages from them?
The Yael civilization is a hybrid civilization. They are relatively similar looking to your Earth humans, which is one of the reasons why they will be the first hybrid civilization to make open contact with you, because they are familiar looking enough to you as to not cause concern. This will start to happen in that window of time from 2025 to 2033, where many of these contacts will begin to amplify. They will not necessarily be the first extraterrestrial civilization to make open contact, but they will be the first hybrid civilization to do so. We will be the third. They have said that within the next year or so, they will give another demonstration of their craft, as they did in the incident that you mostly refer to as the Phoenix Lights, so that again they can gauge the readiness of your people in their reaction or response to the sighting of that craft, to determine exactly how ready many of you are for the concept of contact. That's their message.
Thank you.
Anything else?
How high is your ship above Sedona?
1,350 miles.
We made an effort at Bell Rock, was using the array. Was that
It is a
effective?
beginning, but the array has not been completed yet, because we haven't delivered the final information regarding how it needs to be constructed. So it is only partially complete.
Thank you. One more question.
Yes.
Could you give a physical description of the civilization in the Barnard system?
Again, they are humanoid, a little bit different than you. They are approximately in what you would call their Renaissance age. So a lot of their structures aren't necessarily built in the same ways that yours are, but they utilize stone and wood. And they are relatively sophisticated in their utilization of electrical energy. They do not have borders in the way that you do, countries in the way that you do. And again, physiologically, they are somewhat similar to your humanoid form, but there are differences in their face and in their bodily structures, but not extremely significantly so. Does that help?
Yes, the first steps for contact with them, will it be similar to in this format, or will we just borrow your ships to land there?
That has not yet been completely worked out. When you are made, in a sense, a beginning member of the Interstellar Alliance, these arrangements will be discussed, and whatever is determined among your world and our worlds to be the best course of action for the inhabitants of the Barnard star system will be the route that is taken at that time. This will most likely be sometime around, or maybe slightly before or slightly after your year of 2050. All right?
Very exciting, brother.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And are you good day?
I just have a couple questions. The first
Speak up,
one,
speak up.
My first question is, this is exciting to me. It's exciting, expanding my consciousness and seeing all the things that we are able to do and communicate.
Yes.
Now, is sharing this information with people that maybe don't have any understanding of it, is it considered imposing on their free will to try to...
You can always discuss what it is that excites you, but if they give you any indication that it is not something that they wish to hear, then any further pushing would be an imposition.
Okay.
So you can always bring the subject up of metaphysical concepts and so on and so forth, and share what you believe works for you. Again, this is what we do. We share these ideas with absolutely no insistence that you have to buy into them or accept them or use them in your life whatsoever. We know that they work for us. We know they can work for you if you believe that they can and are willing to use them. But we don't insist that you have to. We have to allow you to choose whatever it is you believe is best for you at any given moment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Therefore, we do not impose, but we share where it is apparently and obviously appropriate for us to do so. We don't just necessarily blurt things out. when it seems like it is not something that someone may wish to hear, but you will always get some kind of an indication, synchronistically, or a sign or a marker, that the timing may be appropriate to at least very carefully broach any subject that you believe might be somewhat new to another individual, to give them time to understand and absorb it, if that is what they're going to choose to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Does that help?
Yes, it is.
Remember that anytime anyone feels like they have to force something on someone means that you don't actually believe in the power of that idea, and all you're attempting to do is convince yourself of its validity, not the other person. Make sense?
Yes, it is.
Does this help?
It does.
Anything else?
Just one more question. I've been hearing a lot of talk about the flat earth theory. Is there any truth to that?
Are you asking if your Earth is flat?
Yeah, because I've been hearing people say that.
You know it's not, yes?